Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here. Look, I got Vedanta next to me.
Hey everybody.
We're going to be doing a portrait today. Last week, on Monday, we did a portrait session where I drew Dustin. I did it digitally, but I thought today would be kind of fun to do one traditionally. So we've spent the last hour and a half kind of getting my studio all kind of reconnoitered and getting cameras set up and all kinds of stuff. So you guys can join along with me. I'm going to be doing a charcoal portrait of Vedanta, and you guys can draw along. So you'll see over my shoulder what I'm going to be drawing, and then she'll be posing, sitting right here. So it's going to be fun. Sorry, I've been drinking soda water. I'm a little burpy. But it's May 30th, and we are going to have a great day. May 29th. We're going to have a great day today. I know, you already said it. I had it in my head. I'm jumping ahead of myself. These weeks are going by so fast. But I hope you guys are staying safe. The country's going through so much right now, and our hearts go out to everyone out there that are going through the protests, and just know that we are backing you, and and so I just want to kind of back away from all that a little bit and give ourselves a break and do some art and just do a little bit of Zen. I can't look at social media without getting enraged. And so today I think it's a good day to just kind of sit back and draw and escape that for a little bit, because there's going to be plenty of it later on, and we can make our voices heard and make sure that people are held accountable for their actions. Police are held accountable for their actions and everything else. And but anyway, enough of that. Let's get back to today. Today I'm going to be drawing traditionally. Dustin's over here.
The stream, I guess, is really choppy.
Is the stream choppy?
Yeah, it's running a little choppy. Maybe it's still exporting, or maybe the ScreenFlow is still exporting, or maybe the
that might be the case. And in which case we might want to just pause it.
Pause.
Yep. Go up to Dropbox right here on the right here. Okay, yeah. Go down to the lower left hand corner. And pause.
And I can see if the girls are on.
No, I think it's the fact that we're still we shot a video earlier today for my Birds of Prey course, and so we have to upload it to a central server so that Dustin can work on it at his house. We've got this whole big complex thing that we do.
It's super complex.
And it was still uploading, and so we just paused it from doing that. That should solve everything.
The ScreenFlow export should be done by now, right?
Don't mess with it. Just leave it alone. Yeah, that should, because scroll down, look down to the bottom, and just click on ScreenFlow. Mm-hmm. Sorry, folks. We wasn't it. And so that looks like it's done, right? Yeah. Okay. Just leave that alone. Go back to what you're doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn around, and I'm gonna start drawing. I'm not going to be able to see your questions, so Vedanta is actually going to be modeling, and she's going to be reading questions for me too. So that'll be fun. Also, I want to remind you guys too, over at creatureartteacher.com, we've still got some crazy deals going on. We've still got dollar courses, dollar brush packs. My animation course is still free. My introduction to animation, or fundamentals, and so go over to creatureartteacher.com, and there's still just a ton of stuff. We just had a big sale over the weekend that we've sold. We pushed even more things on sale. But I just want to let you guys know that everything's still. There's a lot of stuff still at crazy prices. I do want to let you know that the animation course is not going to stay free forever. We're going to be raising it back up in the next week or so. So if you want to get my animation course, my fundamentals of animation, and get it for free, then go over and check it out. Go to creatureartteacher.com and you can get that. Today we've got we just heard that the stream is better now, so that we just had to turn off a couple things. So I'm going to start drawing. We got Dustin here who's going to answer some questions on our side. We got Vedanta who's going to be reading questions from Nick, who's in Sarasota. We got people all over the state working to provide you this stream.
Really choppy again.
Never mind, really choppy again. Oh,
well. Well, maybe I should get the girls off the computers just in case.
Yeah, get them off their computers. Yep.
Okay, I'll be right back.
And I haven't set up my Orbi yet for this room, so I'm going to do that. I'll make sure to do that next time, Nick. For the next stream, we will be all set up with our Orbi.
I'm also going to close out all the extra tabs you have.
Sure, just close out all of it. So you don't even need to have it on. So that should help. And I'm going to be drawing anyway, so the choppiness shouldn't make a big difference. As long as my voice isn't choppy. I'm hoping my voice isn't choppy. But this ought to be fun. I think we're going to have a good time today.
Yeah. Well, all the girls are going to shut off their computers and their
computers.
Computer.
Their TV, just in case.
All right.
We've had such a strong signal lately, I didn't think it was going to be an issue.
Yeah, because I got a new router, and it's been super strong, really great. And I just got, day before yesterday, I just got an extra like satellite router that's supposed to go in here, and I just haven't hooked it up yet. But anyway, I'm going to get to this. Dustin, I'm going to let you adjust the camera. Mm-hmm. And so the idea is here that I'm going to sit here and draw. You guys are going to be able to watch. You can see what I'm going to be drawing here. Can you see that, Dustin?
Uh-huh.
All right. And then Vedanta will be the model. So if you guys want to draw along, you're welcome to. You'll be able to see her. And I'm going to show you my charcoal technique. This board is a little bit textured. It's a little bit more textured than I normally would like, but we're going to roll with it anyway. Roll with it.
Audio is good, apparently.
Audio is good. All right. Well, when I'm drawing like this, a little bit of choppiness isn't going to be bad. So, shouldn't be too bad. Although I'm drinking soda water, so I'm going to be a little bit burpy today.
Burpy.
What do you think about a live animation collab?
That'd be crazy. That's crazy. All right. This first initial, that'd be a cool idea. This first initial part of the drawing, I just need you to sit somewhat still. So what I do is I'm going to try to find the top of her head. I want to find her chin. Right in here. And I'm using Vine charcoal right now. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for shapes. I'm looking at the shape of her forehead. I'm going to look at the shape of her head in general, where it comes up. Now keep in mind, for you guys watching at home, you're seeing a different angle than I'm seeing. You're seeing more of a straight on angle than what I'm seeing. So when I rough everything in with my Vine charcoal first.
Oh, he said the Instagram stream you can't see anything. The whole image is cut off, so he thinks he's gonna just stop it.
Okay, sorry.
If that's fine, he's just gonna shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just shut down the Instagram stream?
Yeah, Nick's going to do it, he said.
Yeah, we were afraid of that. Sorry, Nick, but we had to make some executive decisions here.
Draw me like one of your French girls.
Yes.
Jack.
Sorry to all the Instagram viewers, but you can hop on over to YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, or even Twitter, and you should be able to see the full stream there.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's just giving a sliver right between the two cameras.
So what I'm doing here, sorry,
Okay.
is I want to establish where that brow is. Coming off of that, I look at the shape of the nose, and this is very, very chunky. So I'm going to go in and refine. Right now I'm just finding shapes. I'm going to come in right here.
And it's starting to smooth out a little bit as far as the quality is going.
Okay.
It's not as choppy.
Now this all looks very primitive right now, the way it's coming out. But you'll see as I go, I'm just making little marks for me to later come in and refine.
When do you use a B and H type of charcoal? When to use that?
I use the harder charcoal when I'm trying to get a more defined drawing. Right now I'm using very soft because I'm going to be rubbing a lot of this away. Like I'll adjust the chin and everything. Matter of fact, I should have had my paper towels handy. Like I can rub stuff out like that.
Actually, Ben says that you look pretty, Banata.
Thanks, buddy.
So I'm just getting the general shape of her mouth into the chin.
If you were to draw her in a cartoony style, how do you know when to stop exaggerating the expressions?
It depends on how cartoony you want to go. This, by the way, is our first portrait demo.
Oh, I believe Manny's on here. He didn't say anything, but it just says that he joined. And if you're still here, Manny, hi!
Hey, Manny.
Yellowstone National Park. Yeah. And Detlef is here. He says, afternoon, guys.
Who?
Detlef.
Oh, hey.
Deluxe.
Martin Berger says, draw me like one of your French fries.
So what I like to do also is find shadow shapes.
And no, I can't see what he's drawing, so it is going to be a surprise. I can see on the computer far away a small image, but...
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
I'm actually looking past Aaron.
Yeah, her nose, I'm going to have to bring down a little lower. So I see here, and I just make little adjustments here and there.
And it's
I know it looks really, it looks very, very childlike right now. That's okay. It's all going to refine.
And to correct myself from Ashley's earlier comment, she said beautiful, not pretty.
Oh, wow.
So I wanted her to have her hair down today because I wanted to show you how I approach hair as well, because a lot of people get kind of lost in how to handle all that.
Big shapes.
Big shapes. I'm able to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you use fixative on mat board?
Yeah, I try not to use fixative too much. It changes the it just changes everything.
The subtlety of the color in the charcoal, right?
It does.
It just makes it all like dark.
It pushes contrast as well where I don't want it to.
We don't have any new questions just yet.
That's okay, because we're just getting started. Hopefully people will come along and see what we're doing and get interested. And so here we're going to have a lot of sheen in the hair right along in here that comes down. But what I look for shapes like this. Like, okay, once again, I'm going to go back and proportion. What's the proportion of her forehead here compared to the rest of her face? And here, I feel like I've gotten it a little bit small. Her forehead, everything should be compressed a little bit. But I'm just going to do what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out.
How do you keep charcoal from smudging if you don't use fixative?
You don't touch it.
Put it under glass or plastic.
Yeah. I put it under glass and plastic. Or plastic.
How does the drawing exist and not get harmed without fix?
That's what we were just talking about.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh. Just somebody else was questioning that.
Yeah, so I want to go a little wider on your face. Just a touch wider.
Well, I have gotten a touch wider.
No, just on the face. And then it comes in right here.
Been eating a lot this year.
How do you animate 2D waterfalls? I'm doing a study from a shot of Can You Feel the Love Tonight from Lion King. Will we have courses on FX animation like that in the future?
Yes, we'll have courses on effects animation. Right now, we're focusing on charcoal drawing. So, Dustin, if you can focus on those types of questions, I can. That way, I can, as I'm drawing, I can explain what I'm drawing. But we'll have definitely have courses on effects. We have one of them planned right now, actually.
Twitch question: do you establish shadows from the get-go?
I'm trying to. Yeah, I'll start. Well, I do both. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to find the proportion between features, and then and just general proportions. And then what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll start refining.
What do you think about Betty Edwards' approach to drawing portraits? Drawing with the right side of the brain?
I don't know that approach. So what I'm doing here is just establishing the softness and the shadow that comes off your cheek. There's a softness right in there. And then I want to get...
Twitch comment: I think it's the first time I've ever seen you erase anything.
Oh, we erase a lot. I erase a lot.
It's called back.
Are blending stumps supposed to be sharpened?
It depends on what you're trying to use them for. So I'm just getting a little sense of where everything is. I'm just about ready to do something that will flip you guys out. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, this is what I usually do now. So I've got something very rough laid down. So now
You just erased me.
I wipe it away, but I can still see it. Can you see it on there?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
You can still see a ghost image. And that's where I come in now and I start to refine.
Do you always use toned paper when you use charcoal?
Yes. I like to use toned paper. So now I'm going to come in and really start to look at the drawing.
When you're doing a portrait, is it better to stick to the real lighting or try to make your own?
It's better to stick with the real lighting.
It doesn't lie. It is what it is.
Yep.
Do you use Conti crayons too?
Yes, sometimes I do. Today I'm not going to. So I'm just going to work my way down from the top. I got everything established in that rough pass. I know it looks really smeary and weird right now, but it's enough of a roadmap for me to follow where I can now come in with my refined drawing and start to find everything. And then what this does is it gets the drawing kind of even further kind of ground into the board.
Do you use the Loomis methods for this type of drawing?
Not usually. Not when I'm drawing from life.
What is like proportionate rules or something?
I'm pretty sure if I understand the Loomis method right. I don't remember learning the Loomis method. I've just kind of learned it secondhand.
Is drawing fur similar to hair in charcoal?
Yes, depending on the type of fur that you're drawing, yeah. So right now, I'm still not really too worried about. Not too worried about shadows yet. I just want to get down features, but I want to get them more accurately drawn. Because then we're going to add another tone right over the top of this, and you're going to see right about there. So here's where I want to be really kind of diligent about how I'm drawing. You know, the nose, that's one of the, if you're doing a portrait, you'll know how tough noses are, and you want to get that just right.
If you have a really dark charcoal drawing, but you also want to have powerful white highlights, how do you best do that? Like, do you erase or use white charcoal, or do you just leave the paper white?
It depends on what your background is, what the paper color is. Today you're going to see, because I'm using a toned board, I'm going to use both white charcoal and the board itself. There we go.
What type of gray paper is that?
This is just matte board, you know, regular matte board that you would mat a painting with. So what I'm doing as I look at her eyes, I'm looking at how far across her face does the corner of this eye come that I'm drawing now. How far, you know, because I see that it touches her hair over here, right? So then I want to make sure I've got it here, her eyelid. How much does her eyelid take up in that eye socket? Things like that. Then I want to come over here. How close is the corner of her eye to the bridge of her nose? Is one thing I'm looking at there. And as I bring the eye down on the other side, how far is that from the edge of the edge of the face? I'm looking at all these different parts in order to get an accuracy, to get to something that's going to look like her.
Why did you pick charcoal for the portrait?
It's just, for me, it's easier, and it's easier for a demo. There we go. So here's the important part. I want to make sure that I don't go too far below her mouth. You want to see from the nose down, getting the likeness of the mouth to the bottom of the chin and all of that. That's where it gets kind of tough sometimes. And you want to make sure you get that right.
How many years have you done charcoal drawing?
Probably 35 years. I want to look at the corner of her mouth. The corner of her mouth comes about right here. See, I really take my time at this stage to make sure that I'm getting everything where it should be. I'm looking at the corner of the mouth here and how close it comes to underneath her nose. Right now I've got the nose a little bit crooked. I'm going to bring this around a little bit more. Yeah, I'll be able to fix that in a little bit.
What's the pencil grade you're using to make the details right now?
This is 2B.
To be or not to be? And to any brand new people that have hopped in here, who is your subject?
This is Vedanta. My girlfriend Vedanta. Say hi, Vedanta.
Hi, Vedanta.
So I'm just establishing where her mouth is going to be, her cheeks.
If you notice, my resting mouth is a frown. That's just my resting face, as they call it. Can't control it. And we do have your charcoal drawing course is only $1 right now on Creature Art Teacher.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
I didn't even know that, Nick.
'Cause I have a course on charcoal drawing for just $1 at Creature Art Teacher
Yeah.
right now.
Well, this is the technique right here, and the one that I do on in the demo on Creature Art Teacher, the course, it's a big demo that I do, and it's about a 5-hour course, 6-hour course.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi.
You said you were looking for the big shapes for start, but how do you think about construction, proportions, or anatomy?
Well, that's what I'm thinking about all the time. Right when I'm looking at her face right now, I'm looking at all of them. I'm thinking about all of those things. Mainly, I'm thinking about form. I'm looking at how the light is falling on their form.
Is capturing the likeness the hardest part?
Yes. For me, capturing the likeness is the hardest part. But if you follow looking at all the form, then, and your proportions, then it'll just automatically happen if you follow everything.
And for someone that like finished a charcoal drawing but wants to upload onto the computer, like, do you have any tips on scanning or taking photos of your finished charcoal drawing?
Yeah, don't scan it because it'll get smeared. Photograph it with a high-end camera, a good DSLR.
And then download it to your computer, right?
Yep, and then just download it. So you can see I'm getting the drawing now.
What kind of pencil sharpener are you using? Seems magical.
It's my Panasonic Auto Stop.
It's like 50 years old.
It's
guys.
the same pencil sharpener that I was using during Beauty and the Beast. I've had it for 30 years.
And it's still working. So there you
Yeah.
go, Panasonic.
Still
They even
runs.
still make pencil sharpeners.
I don't know.
Looks like one like my high school teacher had. You know.
What do you think about the art of Kim Jong-gi?
The art of Kim Jong-gi is awesome. Kim Jong-gi is a madman.
Was he the one at CTN?
Yeah.
Just drawing live the whole time?
Yeah.
The one that you fanboy over a lot?
He did fanboy over.
Yeah. Well,
He's like, no. He's busy.
Like, oh my god, he's right there. He's right there. He's right there.
well, he and I, we did a conference together in the Philippines too, and we hung out, had dinner, but I still fanboy
The
over
first time you did Icon
him. The
Manila?
first time.
Ever I saw
first
your face.
How do you get the proportions right to create a likeness?
Well, it's once again, it's looking at. I'm always comparing one thing to another. I'm looking at where does the corner of the eye fall compared to something else, and where does this fall compared to something else, and so on and so forth. Oh, one thing I need, Dustin, I'm sorry. I forgot to bring over.
What the heck?
The upper, second drawer down on the left, right there. There should be a jar of dark. Yep, right there. And then I need those paper towels right there on top. And I might need some, I'm going to need a paper plate.
Paper plate.
Yeah,
Out of the way.
paper plate. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add tone over this whole thing. And once again, you're going to see it all disappear. But I'm going to be able to see that pencil drawing enough in there that I'll be able to then start to find all of my highlights, because that's the goal right now, is to start finding shadow shapes.
Here you go.
Has your animation background influenced your approach and style in your painting and drawing process?
I wouldn't say it's animation as much as just being around other artists for that long. Yes. In that sense.
Do you just eyebrow proportions or do you measure it with your pencil?
I eyeball. So I don't always hit it. I think I'm fairly close on this one, but not perfect.
So if you're going to caricature her face, would you find the likeness first? If you're going to
caricature is tough because you want to exaggerate, right? And doing caricature for women is for me really difficult because it's there's not a lot to a lot of times there's not a lot to caricature. It's hard to explain it. I always have a hard time doing women for some reason. With men, there's always something you can pick out. There might be a beard, there might be a mustache or balding hair or something that you can latch onto.
I always just think of Tom Flaherty because his caricatures are like the best.
They are.
They're freaking amazing.
All right, here we go. So you see the drawing. Say goodbye to the drawing.
Bye, drawing.
Hi, drawing.
Bye, drawing. Bye, buddy. I hope you find your dad.
Hope you find your dad, Dustin. Oh, wait.
Did you already ask that question?
Yeah.
Okay. What percent gray is that mat board? 10%, 20%?
I don't know.
Is it like a brown or no?
It is. It's a warm gray. If I were to call it anything.
More like a
Just
light
don't
brown.
call it late for dinner.
Don't call it late for dinner. All right. Can you take this, put it somewhere it doesn't work, it's not going to spill.
It's extra.
All right. So
Dangerous. It's dangerous stuff.
now here's the key. Now we want to start.
Take it to the kitchen.
I'm going to start pulling out highlights. Now, I don't know if you can see or not. I've toned everything, but I can still see the drawing. Can you see the drawing in there? You can?
Yep.
So the drawing is still there. Now I'm going to start drawing with my eraser. And what I want to do is start pulling out the highlights.
Just have it out there. Just curious what you pursued as your career. Well, I did restaurant management, and cooking. I cooked for 10 years professionally, and then I got into restaurant management. So, basically customer service and food has been my career. And I do art for fun.
Did you know that Cretacolor is an Austrian company?
Cretacolor?
Cretacolor. I said Cretacolor, didn't I?
I didn't know that.
What is Cretacolor?
That's the charcoal I was just putting down.
Eh.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm erasing away everything that I want to be lighter. Anything that's not a shadow is going to get erased away. because this board is so dark to begin with, I'm going to have, once I erase away, I still have a lot of white I can add with my charcoal pencils and subtleties, which is what we're going to do.
Question here, please.
Sure.
Do you have any tips on how to start drawing? I know.
Pick up a pencil.
I know you said to observe, see the proportions, so I will start going out to sketch, but how should one approach it? Like, should I draw basic construction? A course on the basic drawing would be great in the future.
Well, we're going to be doing a course on basic drawing.
Isn't Ronnie doing one?
Yeah.
And you always do start off with the big shapes. You always say
I
that.
always do that.
You
Start with the big shapes.
And then you work
Yeah.
to detail. Because the big shapes is like, I don't know, like the form
Yep,
of something.
that's exactly right. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to see how that shadow kind of softly goes into the bridge of her nose.
Like yawning on the inside.
You're yawning on the inside?
Yeah, like kept my mouth closed but yawned. Have you ever done that?
Uh-huh. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting, because I want to go in and I'm going to start pulling out the highlights on her left eye, well, on her right eye, but the left eye for us.
Does Vedanta get to keep her portrait?
Yes.
I thought you were going to keep it all to yourself.
Well, it's not like it's gonna move houses. It's all staying here. I'm excited though. See how it turns out. You've done little drawings of me before, I think one or two.
Yeah, there's one I did of you
In the Philippines.
in the Philippines that I really liked.
I was in bed. I think, right?
Yeah. Am I leaning into the picture too much?
No, they can still see.
Yeah, you're fine.
So what I'm doing is I'm jumping around a little bit. This is going to be kind of soft. I want that to be soft. Oops. Jumping around a little bit because I wanted. There we go. There's lots of subtleties in here that I want to make sure that I get.
No new questions at the moment.
Who knew sitting still could make you so tired?
It's true.
I just want to like go to sleep now. I'm like,
No, don't.
I'm not. I'm just,
How do you count for darker skin tones in charcoal drawings?
Once again, it's just a matter of values. So if you're drawing someone with dark skin, you still are looking at value structure.
so instead of more mid tones, there'd be more darker tones.
Yep,
And there'd still be this. The light is still the light. Right.
exactly.
It's just more dramatic contrast.
Yep, exactly.
See, I know stuff too.
Yes, you do. So
What
at
was-
this point right now, what I'm doing is I'm just slowly working my way down through this value structure. Sorry, Dustin.
Yeah, it's okay. What would be the benefit of drawing from life over using a picture reference?
When you draw from life, you're actually seeing the form. And when you're drawing from a photograph, you're interpreting a 2D image into a 2D image. But when you draw from life, you're interpreting a 3D image into a 2D image. And so you're really having to think about that form and what's happening.
you draw from life often, and if so, have you ever had any awkward situations where people were offended by the drawing of them?
No.
How'd you deal with that?
No, I've never had anyone offended.
Well, we were in England, remember, at the castle trip, and somebody drew a caricature of me. I was on the ground, and it's fine. It was accurate. I mean, big, but it showed every roll. Like, he literally drew every roll in my stomach, and I'm just like, thanks for that. I really appreciate your honesty.
Well.
But I didn't get offended. I was just like, okay, we're gonna just.
Well, you obviously.
We're just gonna crumple that one up and put it in a corner.
How long does it take for you approximately to make a portrait?
Oh, it depends. It depends on a lot of different things. The complexity, how big is it? You know, all of that.
I think Vedanta did a painting of her and Aaron. That was awesome. Did she have time for art recently?
I've been actually just did a couple digital drawings this week for the first time. I've been busy working as far as like building stuff. You know, we've done a lot of construction here, so
Yeah.
and then repainted both my younger daughter's rooms and redid those. So I haven't had a lot of time for art, but I've been doing some woodworking, and
Yeah, that's like a new outlet for you.
it really is, because I was doing wood carving for a while, but now I'm actually like trying to do a three-dimensional sculpture stuff. So we'll see.
Who
But yeah.
ate the last spicy chip?
Nobody. We still have it. It's on reserve.
That's, and I'll save it for anybody who wants it, because I'm sure as hell not ever going to touch it.
Yeah, I might eat it for lunch tomorrow. I'm not sure.
God.
No, we have it on reserve for one crazy night when some party goer is going to be like, "Hey, I'll take it."
Yeah.
You know, it'll be a whole thing. We'll videotape it. We'll post it. Then we'll have to delete it the next day. It's too crazy.
What'd you do a future live stream for gouache painting?
Yeah, I've done some live streams with gouache painting.
We just haven't done one in a while.
Yeah.
What's the best type of paper for pencil and or charcoal?
I think Canson. Canson paper.
I've never heard of that.
Canson.
For pencil and charcoal?
Yep. Canson.
So, are you varying eraser pressure depending on the area you're trying to reveal?
Exactly. Good question.
Wonder if you can see my scar in the light. Can you?
No.
Really?
No.
Right, not right here?
No. So as I go down, you'll start to see the form emerge a little bit better. As I work my way down in the painting here.
That's a good piece of advice. Somebody wrote, "Don't feed that chip to a bird."
Oh, of course not.
That would be horrible.
Who would even think of that?
It's these little details like getting this part of the lip right here in light.
Near like the Cupid's bow? Isn't that what this is called?
Maybe that's what that's called, but that's not what I'm just looking at.
Oh.
right now.
Oh, you mean the side of the
I'm
lip?
looking at your lower lip.
Oh, okay.
And for a portrait this size, it's a little bit, it gets a little bit tight.
Yeah. I have thin lips. So. But I'm okay with that.
So Venanta, when he's done with the portrait, are you going to share that as your profile picture on Facebook, like I did with Dad's portrait of me?
I have no idea.
Depends on how she feels about it.
Mm-hmm. Just kidding. I'll probably at least post it, if not share his post.
Do you think you'll turn it into a profile picture?
I'm not sure.
So do you think it'll be a profile picture when you're done?
Do you think it'll be a profile picture? Do you
Why
think it'll be a
why
picture
do you always
that's...
want me to copy you, Dustin? Why do
think
you always
it's
have
a-
to copy you?
Do you think it's a picture that's fit for a profile?
I'll give you a profile picture. Excuse me, Aaron. Can you help me overcome an existential crisis? You see, I love to draw, but since the universe will disappear sooner or later, what's the point?
Well,
That's
then
a
what's
serious question. That's a
then,
YouTube question.
Then what's the point of anything? So
Why make my bed in the morning? Why cook food? Why
yeah.
save money? Why give good credit? I don't know.
And I just completely erased your nostril while I was thinking about that question. So I got to go back and redraw.
Sorry. The point is that while we're here and while we're living, we might as well do things.
Don't
that,
answer it. I want you to sit still while I draw. Just for this little bit, because I'm drawing around your mouth right now. There we go.
Matt Yoakum says, "Howdy, y'all. Aaron, would you rather eat 5 chips in a row or stop working on Snow Bear?
What?
Eat the 1 chip challenge? Would you rather eat 5 of those in a row or stop working on Snow Bear?
Or stop working on Snow Bear?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
I
you have
see.
to
both
quit
suck.
working on Snow Bear.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I'd have to eat 5 chips in a row.
You wouldn't want to give up on Snow Bear?
No. It gets complex down here. I gotta figure this out. That's all reflected light. Try to get that reflected light softened up in there. There. Can you see it coming through?
So my feed stopped earlier, but what tool are you using for the highlighting?
I'm using my eraser.
How long does one usually last?
How long does what usually? The eraser?
The eraser, and how do you know when it's going bad?
Oh, it gets really gummy.
Anyway, Dad,
It gets very goopy.
You're covering the image a little bit too much, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. If you want to make it easier for you, you can shift the camera over a little bit.
No, that's just fine. Because then you'll be shifting it on people that are trying to draw. Oh, you're talking about the camera for me.
Yeah, for you, yeah.
However you want to do it.
If it happens again, I'll just go, waiting!
Can you actually read that question? Because I don't want to move my mouth too much.
Other one.
Mhm.
I got some older dip pens from my great-grandparents for my birthday today. He passed away and was teaching me pen and ink last summer. I'm afraid of ruining the pens as they are irreplaceable. Any tips for keeping them well taken care of? I'm 12 today, and I would like to still have them when I'm old too. Is this possible?
Yes, it's very much possible. And all you have to do is make sure you rinse them each time you use them. Clean them out really good. Or just get some other ones that you'll use and put those aside so you don't have to use them if you're afraid you're going to wear them out.
Well, happy birthday.
And happy birthday, yeah.
Happy birthday! What is the most challenging part on the face when you draw?
The face.
I think everything's challenging. But I think the
getting
nose, mouth
yeah.
area
Okay.
for me.
Yeah. True.
I'm just going to shift the camera over just a bit. Right there.
So I'm getting some of the basic shadow shapes.
you always do portraits like this? Where you put a layer and then erase it?
Yes.
You like draw with the eraser?
I like to draw with the eraser. Very much.
It's a kneaded eraser, right?
Yes.
Do you ever start a painting or drawing and it just doesn't go right? I am constantly starting something and it just doesn't feel right and I don't finish it.
Well, I'd say almost every painting I start at some point or another doesn't feel right. But I just push through.
Finish it, and then it's a lesson learned. And the next one will be better.
Hey, Caroline says, hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Y'all. That must be a Midlander thing.
You wrote, hey, y'all, in parentheses, written this way just for Aaron.
Yeah. She knows how much I love it when people write that.
Y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Yeah.
It's so southern. Y'all.
I don't mind that it's southern.
Hey, y'all.
I just don't understand why people actually write it. It's one thing to say it, I get it. But why do you write it?
I couldn't care less.
Did you ever try using blue tack, the stickered poster stuff, in place of kneaded eraser? It's very good at removing bright highlights.
That's what this is right here.
Sorry. It says
That's what that is?
It says a knee eraser. Do elbows work as well? That's all I have. Oh, and Nick's asking if you could, or somebody's asking if you could zoom in a little bit on the drawing just so you could see more detail. Right now it's showing the whole image, which is great.
Yeah.
He said maybe zoom in for a little while and then zoom back out or something.
I have to go kind of juggle back and forth. You know, let me see if I can just. Sorry for the motion sickness, everybody. You're on for a little ride.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, that looks close. That looks great, I think.
Question is. Okay. Good.
Yep.
I was just making sure.
Now the
that this
portrait's
camera
about as
wasn't
big as I am in the video. See, babe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Move it over just for just a quick second so you can see right here.
There you go.
Yeah. And it worked.
So basically we've got two value ranges right now, what we've gotten it down to. And there's a lot of subtlety I want to get in this, in the face here. And then, once we get this done like this, then I go in and we start to find the dark areas. And that really balances it out.
Caroline is asking if Vedanta, are you finding that sitting still is really hard because you have to do it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
There's your other shoulder. Is that backwards on there? No, I guess not. Well, it's just that the other camera looking at you.
It says, is
Yeah,
this the
it's slightly
Vedanta
different.
Lisa? She'll be famous before we know it.
Oh, the Vedanta Lisa. That is kind of Vedanta Lisa.
Vedanta
isn't it?
Lisa.
Vedanta Lisa, Vedanta Lisa, I have known you.
It's funny, Lisa's the name of my best friend.
Do you guys prefer ice cream or frozen yogurt and wine?
It's random. It must be the food guy. What's his name?
That was Vivi.
Oh, okay. There's one guy that comes on the streams that always asks food questions. Like, did you get craft services at Disney? Like, what? What are you doing? Writing a book about food?
So all I'm doing now is going through, just cleaning up a couple of the areas.
Ice cream.
I want brighter.
We like to make our own homemade ice cream.
I like Ben and Jerry ice cream, especially the Cherry Garcia.
I made bourbon ice cream a while ago with like caramelized pecans in it.
Oh.
It's really good.
Have you ever done a mythical creature on charcoal, like a dragon or a fairy?
I may have. Can't remember.
Do you like scratch boards?
Yes. All right. So there's a maul stick right there. I don't know if I want you to have to get it. I gotta reach. There we go. All right. So here's the maul stick. This is what we use when we don't want to get our drawing smeared. So now I'm going to start at the top with my dark pencil.
You made your maul stick with
I did make
with
it.
some socks, some tape, and a dowel. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Hey, it works. Twitch comment: we get pizza and wings for the live stream every Friday. This live stream is an event at my house.
All right.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Have you ever scanned a charcoal then colored it digitally?
No. That's a cool idea, though. What do you think so far?
So far, so good.
In there.
Ah, come on.
Come on!
Come on!
Out!
And I appreciate you not making me quite as chubby as I am.
Oh, stop it.
I've gained 50 pounds in 2 years, so Mama needs to go on a diet again. Actually, the gyms are open. Start going to the gym again. The second I turned 40, I swear my metabolism went. Woo.
Do you ever work with colored pencils?
Occasionally. Occasionally, yes.
Do you prefer traditional or digital art?
I don't have a preference. Today I'm having a great time doing traditional.
Here for the darker values, are you using 6B or an 8B?
I'm actually using 2B.
2B?
I find it just the right. It's not too soft.
2B or not 2B?
2B.
That's not a question, that's the answer.
YouTube comment. Regarding your pineapple shirt, did you know English is the only language calling it that? Most other languages call it some variant of bananas. Greetings from Norway.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Why would they call it a banana? It's nothing like a banana.
Is it pineapple?
Okay, so I got a couple of areas I want to retouch real quick. Don't move.
Whatever you do, don't move a muscle. Is that a new question? Or the scan charcoal?
That's yes, that
Okay.
about
Double
scanning
check.
drawings.
Huh. Pineapples are called ananas in Croatia.
They're called bananas.
They're called ananas. Basically banana without the ananas.
It's just weird.
It's freaking weird, man.
Ananas in Danish too, and most other languages says actually mint. Yeah, so really most of the other countries call pineapples ananas.
Did they also mean a sign of welcoming in other countries, like they do here?
Didn't you
They mean welcome, basically.
welcome?
Like welcome
Yeah.
greetings and stuff. Good greetings to your home. That's what this.
So I'm subtly going in and adding some highlights here and there.
Love your charcoal portrait. I have started the charcoal class. I've noticed some differences in needed erasers. Do you have a favorite brand? Thanks.
I can't think of the name of the brand off the top of my head.
Oh no.
Uh,
And Gabby's here. She says, "Hey,
hey, Gabster.
hey, Gabby."
Case for horses. Starting to see like tunnel vision, you know.
Are you? Well, you can move around a little
It's
bit
okay.
if you want.
I'm fine. It's kind of cool. Trippy, dude.
Like I'm getting tunnel vision. I'm about to pass out, but I'm okay. I'm fine.
Okay.
I can still hold it.
Every woman ever. I'm fine. Fine. She was not fine.
It was at this moment that he knew he messed up. Are you using a white coloring pencil or pastel?
I'm using a white charcoal and a white Prismacolor.
Strawberries or cherries? I love cherries. I'm a cherry guy.
Wow.
But what about you guys?
Somebody just joined the stream. I'm gonna ignore that question real quick because it's another food related. It's weird how many food questions we get.
We're
What's
drawing charcoal, people. Ask me a charcoal question.
what is the bar he's resting his hand on attached to, and is it hard to sit still for a portrait? Yes, it's hard, but it's worth it. I'm getting drawn by the Blaise up in here. It's worth it. It's called a maul stick, right?
Malls.
Yes.
It's not sitting on anything. It's resting up against the edge of the canvas.
Yeah, it's
Right?
on the. It's right now. I've got it on a magnet.
Oh, okay. And I don't think anyone could really see the mall stick or the end of it. So.
What kind of white pencil is the best one for highlights?
I'm using General's white charcoal.
Have you ever worked with Byron Howard?
Byron Howard and I were very close. Byron was my assistant on Mulan, but I use assistant very loosely because Byron was already an animation genius when he and I started working together.
Didn't he start off as a tour guide?
Byron started as a tour guide at the animation studio in Florida. Yep. And
Then he became an intern or something, or
yep, he became an intern. Then he became an animation assistant, where he became my assistant. And Byron and we did Mulan together. And then we went on, and I directed Brother Bear after that, and I made him the supervising animator of Kenai the Bear.
and then he went on to direct, right?
Yep, and he's got the Academy Award for
Zootopia?
Zootopia.
Director. Did he co-direct that?
Yep. There. See, when you start getting into the white areas now, if you're very, very tasteful with it, then it starts to come together really nice.
Have you ever used a Derwent drawing Chinese white pencil? I highly recommend trying one.
No, I have not.
That's a long title for it. Derwent drawing Chinese white pencil.
Do you draw with Sangina? It's like charcoal but brown, red, and clay, made of clay. Have you ever used that?
No, I haven't. I've seen them, but I've never used them. You doing all right?
Yep.
You need a break?
Nope. I'm gonna take a sip of my soda water. We're like addicted to soda water in this house. Sorry.
All right, I'm going to go back in with some darks. Darks. Dark. Actually, I want to hit that eye again. This eye over here. I want to finish that off. It's all very subtle little touches that I'm doing right now.
It's funny how the tiniest little angle can make such a huge difference as far as likeness.
Oh yeah.
Like in the mouth, the crease of the mouth, like the nose,
Yep.
the shape of the eye. Ooh, Nick says I bought a soda stream and make my own soda water. It's awesome.
We have one too.
We have one too. But I still love the old brands of soda water that they make.
This is where it gets really touchy. You want to, if you get the mouth wrong, you've screwed up the whole likeness. Don't talk to me, Dustin.
Shutting at you.
I could I could hear you getting ready to ask a question.
And you would be right, sir.
Just got to get. Oh, I nailed it. I think I'm getting close and getting your mouth.
Old English Blaise means fire, probably the same for Blaise. B-L-A-E-S-E.
Well, B-L-A-I-S-C is French.
Oh, okay.
Don't know what it means, but it's French. Oh, French.
That was so not stereotypical at all. Avec? Are you familiar with ink washing?
Huh?
Are you very familiar with ink washing? I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever seen you use toned ink that often, other than ballpoint pen. Do you think you could do an ink wash demo
Sure, it's no. It's really no different than doing watercolor.
of a bear? Very specific. Ink wash demo of a bear.
Gabby earlier commented, not gonna lie, I've waited a while to see a pencil drawing from Aaron live streamed.
Well, this is a charcoal, but close.
I mean, he's technically using pencil.
It's a charcoal.
Pencil's made out of charcoal.
Look at me, I'm Dustin, I'm still talking.
I know shit at shit. What kind of pencil sharpener do you use?
It's a Panasonic. It's about 50 years old. Just kidding. It's about 30 years old. But it's old.
Hey, you're in a mood today, aren't you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Huh. No, it's just because I'm standing still. My body can't express any emotion except through my voice. Oh. I always give Dustin a hard time normally, so.
I wasn't talking about that.
Oh. The Panasonic thing?
I just know you well enough. I can hear it in your way you talk.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not in a mood. I'm in a great mood.
Just getting very light, reflected light. Ah.
You do know me very, very well, don't you?
There we go. We're back and forth between the lights and the darks. So what I'm doing is I'm just looking for shadow shapes. Don't like how much texture there is in this board, but it's not too bad.
I know this has nothing to do with life drawing, but as someone who worked in Disney for years, what is your opinion on festival animated films?
Some of it's good, some of it's not. That's all I got to say. I like it.
Like independent films? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's just.
That are submitted to festivals?
Yeah. I've seen really good stuff, and I've seen stuff where I just wanted to. My eyes were bleeding at the
Wasn't
end.
I Lost My Body a festival?
I don't know. I'm sure maybe it was.
I thought it won the Academy Award.
Is
Best
that-
short,
is that
best
for-
short animated.
Oh no, it's a feature. I thought.
Really?
I thought it was. I Lost My Body. Wasn't it feature length or no?
No, it was a short, I thought.
Oh,
Oh no, you're right, maybe it was feature.
I don't know.
My bad. I never ended up seeing it.
How do you draw hair? As a group, a mass, or do you have a different way?
Yes, as a group, as a mass. First, I'm doing this whole shape. How does that look? I do the shape, and then I work towards breaking it up. So right now, I'm just going in and breaking it up. I'll draw Avalon next week. I'll have her sit.
Yeah. That'll work. You should do Marshall though.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a drawing of my dad. My dad's 80, so there's a lot of fun textures in his old man's skin. I think it'd be fun to draw him. Yeah, I think they're coming out pretty good here. Shoulders getting
Did
tired.
you say back hurts? Well, usually your hands rest a little lower than it is right now. It's pretty high up, you know?
Yeah. Putting this up there.
No questions yet.
That's all right. We'll just maybe you can zoom in a little closer, get to see some of the details I've done.
I guess zoomed in as much as possible. I would need to.
Actually,
Really?
I've got to erase a couple of areas a little bit more thoroughly.
Oh, it's already zoomed in?
Yeah, it's all the way in. What I should have done is use my other camera and lens combo. There's always next time. Have you ever drawn your dog? What's his name? Achilles?
Yes. How did your chin get this shape? I definitely screwed up in there. Gotta bring it underneath.
I wanted to say thank you for your discounts and for your classes.
There we go.
I just finished a lesson in painting in Photoshop, and your way of teaching is so easy to follow. The success I had with it gives me confidence to continue drawing.
I'm glad. I'm glad you liked it. Or that white charcoal just erases right off really easy.
You want to read the top one? It's fine.
All right. Aaron, do you use a wet brush for textures and details, then you draw with charcoal?
No. A wet brush. I've never done that. Never heard of that.
Never heard of that technique before?
I like to get looser as I get away from the core part of the drawing where most of the attention is.
Focal point?
Yes, thank you. That word.
Which would be the face?
The words.
The words.
Words.
The core part, I was like, okay,
Let's see what he's.
specify.
Let's break that down. Let's see what he's trying to say.
Let's specificate. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's specificate
Let's
what he's.
pontificate on his specific.
Question based on the Birds of Prey course. Will you be covering the awkward way raptors walk?
Yes. I'll do that in some animation. I'm going to be doing animation for the course as well.
Are you using a Lucy, or do you recommend using such tools? What's a Lucy?
No, I'm not. I drew all this freehand, just looking at her.
Oh, like a light box or a loop?
If you want to use a Lucy and trace it off, you're more than welcome to. But the best way to learn proportion and how to draw a likeness is to suffer through it and figure it out.
Oh, is that where the shadow, the light's behind someone and they're projecting a shadow onto the paper you're drawing on?
Lucy basically is, it comes through a lens and projects down onto the paper.
Oh, okay. Because there's also, you can put a light behind someone and position it behind the canvas and it will project the profile on the,
Yeah.
They used to do that in the olden times.
In the olden days.
Olden days.
Olden days. Where did you learn charcoal drawing from? Were there any artists that you studied?
No, this is actually my own technique that I came up with. When I was in college, we had to use charcoal to do our figure drawings, and I'd never done it before, so I just kept trial and error and kept trying different techniques, and this is one that I came up with. It worked for me, and I've done it the same way ever since for the last 35 years.
Oh, shoot. Just kidding.
Older than you.
Young at heart. You're about 10 years older than me. True. That's true. But we're both part of the same generation, right?
Uh-huh.
Generation X.
I don't know. I'm 1968. You're 1978. Is that still all Generation X?
Yeah. We just barely get by. Because I think it stops in like 80 or something, or 82. It starts in 68. You're definitely not a baby boomer.
No.
And I am not a millennial. I am not a millennial. But they're fine. They're fine. They're fine. My kids are actually all Gen Z. Your kids are millennials. Dustin and Austin.
Yeah.
Gen Z.
When will we see Vedanta draw something? She is an artist, isn't she?
I am. I do mostly acrylic on canvas. I do some digital painting on my my Wacom. Cintiq.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I'm not good on the spot at a lot of things. I'm good in the spare of the moment, my impressions or whatever, or my drawing. But if I'm like put on the spot, I tend to get a little scared.
Scared?
Yeah, choke.
I choke up. I draw a stick figure. Thank you. You're welcome. That might be fun though to try something.
It would.
Well, we could always do a little live in the field, like a little painting, like a plein air painting session live. I know it's harder to go live when you're not in the studio though, right?
But not necessarily. If we got good signal, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it might be fun to do that. Where
Yeah.
me, you, and maybe Ronnie are out there and just do a live stream of plein air painting.
I think that'd be awesome.
I'll make a couple blobs for you guys. That's no problem.
So I'm just hitting little details here and there. I'm just gonna call this finished here in a few minutes. I like to let it just kind of fade out. I do want to hit your forehead a little bit better.
I know, I was gonna say, hit my forehead.
Dustin, if you make a new photography bundle, what species are you interested in to capture? Well, I think the next batch is definitely going to have anhingas and cormorants mixed in there, but I don't know exactly what other species I might get.
I think you should start trying to go for the big ones. The ospreys, the red-tailed hawks,
Oh yeah.
the owls and like woodpeckers. There's all kinds of stuff in this area.
Oh yeah. It's just a matter of
Finding them.
finding them. Yeah. But I definitely do want to get more like birds of prey stuff, like bald eagles, ospreys, the hawks.
Oh yeah,
But,
swallowtails.
Yeah, but
Those
one
are
of my
nice.
big goals for the future, either near the end of the year or next year, is just a Montana pack in general, just like bison, bears, moose, elk. Are there elk in Montana?
Yeah.
Are there white-tailed deer up there or no?
No, mule deer.
Mule deer.
Mule deer. And why are you using a stick for the newcomers
Because it's something I can rest my arm on.
You had a really long hair on your head.
without smearing the?
It's called a
joint?
maul stick. Yeah, just to keep your hand off the. People use that for painting too.
To keep it from smudging.
Yeah.
So I don't smear.
I never have, but then my arm always wants to like. It just starts locking up after a while. You try to keep it off the canvas.
For digital art, do you prefer a Wacom Cintiq with Photoshop, or an iPad with Procreate?
If I have to pick between the, I like both, but if I had to pick between the two, it'd be a Cintiq with Photoshop.
Are there any character designs?
Although I like them both.
Are there any character designs of in the Birds of Prey course, like character designs of birds, and will there be any baby bird characters, or are you just doing the?
I'm doing straight up
Real anatomy.
Real anatomy. I didn't in the wolves and coyotes. I did some caricature. We might do some caricature. I'm not sure.
Are you gonna do any flight stuff?
Yes, I'm doing lots of flight stuff.
Animation, of flight, because they all fly differently, don't they? Or they have a different like silhouette and their wingspan
Yeah.
and. You know, I always thought flamingos were indigenous to Florida.
They aren't.
I know, because it's such a Florida like symbol, the
I know.
flamingo.
Oh.
But I guess it's the plastic flamingo.
Yeah.
It's the symbol, but still.
Yeah, where flamingos usually.
There's old world flamingos that are native to Spain and Africa and all of that. And the new world flamingos are the Bahamas down in the Caribbean. There we go. Pretty much just want to hit.
Do they ever make it up here into Florida, or do
They do occasionally. If sometimes storms will bring them up.
Ah.
So it's not unheard of to see flamingos in the Everglades by accident, or in the Keys.
There's a lot of them in captivity down here.
Yeah.
Everybody's got them. Gatorland, Busch Gardens,
Uh-huh.
zoos.
Bitlef is giving a heads up, to hold on to something when you look at the result, because you might faint from how good it is.
Well, I always faint at how good it is, though. I know what an amazing artist Aaron is. That is. Nick says they're not actually pink. That's from eating shrimp.
That's true.
I knew that. Same thing with the spoonbills.
That's right.
They're pink because they eat so many shrimp, right? Or
Yeah.
is it krill? Not krill, shrimp.
No, it's any crustaceans.
Crustaceans. The crustaceans. Crustaceans.
There we go. I think we're there.
A question for Dustin. What is an affordable starter lens that would be good for wildlife photos? Depending on the brand, I would say any form of like 70 to 300 millimeter, because 300 is a good range for wildlife. And usually they can range from $400 to $1,000 depending on the what kind of lens it is, but yeah.
All right, folks, there you go. Don't look yet. Not quite there yet.
No picking. He said, "Okay, I should have known." Well, one more thing.
Yeah.
I should have.
There it
That's
is.
one more
There's
thing.
there's always, every time, there's always one more thing.
But there's like 10 one more things.
There's always at least one. But there's no telling in how many there are after that. It could be just one, it could be 3, it could be 20. Hang on, one more things.
But when you do this, when you sit down to do your charcoal drawing, remember, start with that rough. I'd start with that vine charcoal, and don't worry about how it looks. You're really just about trying to find where your proportions, and you establish that pretty roughly, and then from there, it's about I like to wipe that off, and then really fine tune it with the drawing. And then once that drawing is established, then you can get in there and start pulling out your shadow shapes and start. That's when you start working out your values. And that is how I do portraits. I feel like this one.
Important question. Did you save your work?
Oh crap! Look, it just got deleted.
Just smears.
We just signed it.
Just signed it. There you go. I'm done.
Oh wow! That looks even better than I
Then
was
So
saving.
I was going to say, if you can get the camera, and then you can get closer with it, Dustin. Just take the camera off because I think it looks better here than it does.
That really does look like me.
Oh, let me
Hey,
pop up out of
it's
the way.
me.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah, because it's at a weird angle too.
How's that?
Just get up, walk to it.
Well, there's all these tripods in the way.
Oh yeah. So, and also be subtle with the white. Don't go too crazy with it because it'll turn into mud if you're not careful. And look for those shadow shapes. Look for where the light and the dark meet. The hard lines of shadows, things like that. Those really define your sense of light. And so I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Just switch to the webcam.
Which one is webcam? One that says webcam? Oh, it says webcam. So there we go. So that was my charcoal portrait. My very first ever charcoal portrait demo, actually. So that was kind of fun. I enjoyed that. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll do it again sometime. We'll do it again sometime soon. But that's I really love doing that kind of stuff. And you really got to take your time in the beginning. Take your time in the beginning to find those proportions. Find the proportions, find the angles, all the different things that will give you a likeness before you go on any further. Take your time in those areas because that's really going to be the roadmap. That's going to determine what the portrait looks like at the end of the road. So so there you go. Hope you guys had a great time. I enjoyed it. And remember, go to the website, creatureartteacher.com. I've got charcoal. My charcoal course right now is on sale for $1. Thanks, Vedanta. It's on sale for $1. My introduction to animation, the fundamentals, is free right now. We've got, our Photoshop brushes. All my Photoshop brushes are $1 for each set, and they're all really good. Great for different things: hair, foliage, wet media, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, go check it out. There's a great savings. I had a lot of fun doing charcoal for you, and I will talk to you next week. Go out, put some beauty back into the world, and put your shopping cart away. And Dustin, take it away.
Bye. Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, you just jump right to the end.